Hey guys, welcome to the Worst Generation podcast where we discuss all things One Piece card game. So I am Orange Samurai D, your level 1 judge, and here we got our TCG experts, Garrett Farrington and Evan Garms.
What's up?
You want to tell them what you do?
Yeah, I grew up playing Pokemon TCG, had a couple good runs, got second at Nats, top 8 at Worlds, and been into One Piece since it came out. Really fun game, and I just think it has a really good balance to it. As far as One Piece goes, got a 9th in the DLB, 512-person tournament, and just having a lot of fun with it right now. Looking forward to Treasure Cup.
Yep. Both Miami and Vegas, right?
Yep. Miami and Vegas.
And Evan, what about yourself?
So I've been playing card games since I was 5 years old. I have experience in basically every single card game ever. When it comes to One Piece, I have a first place finish in the 1000 tournament for Versus, and then also the most recent was undefeated in Swiss in their $500 tournament as well.
Okay.
And then if you guys follow Diego, you'll see a lot of my deck lists posted on there on his page.
Each and every time. All right, so we got some things to talk about. First and foremost, because it's happening next week, we got Starter Deck 5 coming out.
Yep.
And it's technically not legal for the Treasure Cup because it's coming too close to the release date. But there are some notable cards in the set. Not necessarily the leader, Shanks, which is the boost 2,000 to your characters.
Unfortunately, he's as bad as King.
Yeah, it's just a bust 2,000 for -3, so that's not too big. But the key cards for the set, or starter deck, is going to be the Uta as a forecast blocker. And what is she? -1 to rest an opponent. That's really good. And then, what is the other guy? Douglas Bullet, who I think is a 7.
Douglas Bullet is at 810.
Yeah,
8/10. That's disgusting. Yeah.
That has double attack, remove 4
For minus
Don,
4.
and you get 2 rest, 2 6 costs
Yeah, so that's...
or less.
Yeah, they're really good cards.
Evan's not that high on Douglas Bullet.
You don't
So-
like
Let's
Douglas?
just get into it.
So Kaido's already the best deck in the format.
Correct.
Yeah.
So right now with that trial deck release, if we're just looking at a set 1 format, Uda's going to get played. Uda's going to fill
Yeah.
that weird mid-range slots that
Black Maria for people that play.
exactly
Yeah.
like Black Maria, Babanuki, stuff like that, like where Kaido has like those like 4 tech slots.
Yeah.
Those are just getting removed, and then everyone's going to be playing Uda instead
Absolutely.
because Uda's insane.
Yeah, Uda's the best card in the film deck.
Yes.
Hands down,
Hands
no
down.
question.
It's so splashable. You can put it on anything.
Yeah. But when it comes to Bullet,
Yeah.
it's a really good card. It reads insane on paper. But do you know what also reads insane on paper?
10 drop.
Every
Kaido.
green
Oh.
card ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
not saying green's bad, but it's not Kaido.
No, it's not.
No, it's
Kaido's
not.
so strong.
As people who both like green a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But Bullet, you're gonna play it for 8, but it's just like Kaido's such a tempo deck that you don't want to play a card and then not do anything with it that turn. Where Bullet, it's like a green card. Like Bullet is a green card that
it's disguised as purple.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm not
For a
trying to
drop.
play green. I'm just trying to play Kaido and win.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that card is bad because there's definitely going
Yeah.
to be a home for it. But in the set 1 meta right
need-
now, I think just playing a big guy that's going to pop one of your guys is going to just
I think the
That's way
highest
stronger.
utility we'll ever see from that card will come in future sets. I don't think it's right now.
I think
100%.
maybe for like Crocodile, Blue Purple.
Anything,
Give him
anything
Who's the
different.
biggest body for Blue Purple Crocodile? Mihawk and the Crocodile at -6.
I guess it would be the 9-drop Kaido. Because you can still use that card in that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a Beast Pirate
Yeah,
leader
Diamond
for a
used it.
9-drop.
I
The
remember
10
that.
is unusable for Blue Purple Crack.
Yeah, it's way too much. So yeah, that set comes out in February 3rd, so it's just like slightly before Treasure Cup starts next week. Long Beach, I think, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's just back-to-back events: Long Beach, Miami, Vegas, so on, Dallas. So unfortunately, for a Treasure Cup, that set is not allowed. Neither is the event pack that they give you at the tournament itself. The event pack Volume 1 that has the brand new cards, the Uta.
Some pretty good ones.
Yeah, no, the Jinbei is pretty
I
good.
think that Jimby makes Dofi
Yeah.
better. I really do.
Yeah, that one was
'Cause
pretty
are you
good.
going to attack into it or just let it swing for 5 every turn for free?
yeah.
So for Treasure Cup, what do you guys think is going to be the deck to play since it's a one-off best of 1 going into best
I'll
of 3
let
for day
Evan
2?
start. What do you think? I mean,
So-
California meta too. Because
Yeah,
California's
yeah,
our first Treasure Cup. I think that's really important.
Yeah. it's another tournament.
So California going in, I think we are going to see a high representation of green and red because
Yeah.
green and red just play best for a best of 1 scenario.
Yeah.
They do.
Now, I do think that there's going to be like a blue or a purple that do sneak in, but I think it's going to be
A
highly
Dofi, a Kaido.
Yeah, it's,
highly represented.
the
by
percentage
those.
should be minuscule, but
But it's like, here's my thing. The Kaido player that makes it, the one that gets lucky and just, doesn't have like 4 Blast Breath and Island in hand to start a game, that one Kaido player that makes top cut has the best odds to win the whole thing.
100%.
I mean, a best
would
of
not-
3 Kaido?
It's going to be crazy because I wouldn't be surprised if we walk in there and then there's like a 10% Kaido representation for a best of 1 tournament, and then we see a Kaido top, and then in
Possibly win.
the best
Yeah.
of 3, he wins that, and then you're going to see for Miami, you're going to see a ton of Kaidos because
Yeah.
people are going to be like Kaido #1 best deck,
Yeah.
and Kaido is the best deck, hands down. Kaido is the best deck.
On curve.
I don't know, man.
I mean, if you factor in things like consistency and stuff, I don't know. I mean, we're seeing so much Luffy recently.
Luffy-
In the biggest tournament yet,
Yeah.
recently, in the United States, for a locals event, it was a
Yeah.
120,
the Maitland one,
the Maitland one.
it was a 118 in Maitland, Florida.
4 Luffy's
Yeah.
topped?
Yes.
Topped 8. So out of
1 Kaido,
118
2
people
kids.
you just said?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How many
Ka-
Kaido players were there?
Players in total, I don't know, but only 1 Kaido deck top, 2 kits top, and then it was
One
1 Dofi. So the representation of Luffy was really big.
I think what's happening is
Zero Zoro.
everyone reads best of 1 format, and then so people aren't playing Kaido right now because of that. And then you have the greens and the reds, and I think
Yeah.
red plays well into green, and then now you're seeing all these Luffy decks because I think Luffy plays better into green than
I do agree.
other red decks.
Yes, because
Yeah.
of the shanks, because of the swinging over your 1
Yeah,
drops.
just round table is
Yes.
That's
so
really strong.
good for that match.
And in Zoro,
So-
you're losing room on those tech cards because you're going wide.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have as much space, where Luffy has that flexibility.
So I'm seeing on the hashtag OPTCG top list, all the decks that I'm seeing that people send to me via Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, it's a lot of red Luffy, green kid, red Luffy, green kid, every now and then like some blue, Zero Odins, almost. Barely any Kaidos. Kaido started off really strong when we first started out with the game, but now it's like dwindling.
Well, when they announced like official format as best of 1,
Yeah.
that's where all those Kaido players went because they're like, well, green and red
They're so consistent.
are more consistent. But I think Kaido, like even in a best of 1 format, is just going to be the best deck.
The problem too, though, is like, for most people, Kaido's the most user friendly.
Yeah, it is.
You
Yeah,
have,
yeah,
you
it's
have
super
the
easy to
high,
play.
you have the highest output.
Yeah.
So what you're seeing is a lot of people who come from other card games, they want the consistency. They want the ability in their mind to outplay their
Yeah.
opponent. And they believe if they get the better start or if they can consistently see certain cards, that they will have that opportunity. Whereas like a beginner player might just think, well, if I see Island, I can win this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's also like, what quality of Kaido players are we seeing in the current meta? Whereas like, are good players just playing green right now? You know,
Yeah.
I'd make that argument.
Yeah, because little by little, they're going to find out, well, if I'm breaking, I'm not going to do that well. So the ones that are dedicated to keep playing the deck because they know it's better, oh, hey, buddy, they're going to be playing purple still.
Correct.
But the ones that are like already done with that deck, they're going to play Zoro, they're going to play Kid, and it's just going to trickle down to that majority. But they're not all topping. Like we saw Zoro tops at Maitland.
Yeah.
Even though I saw a bunch. So, yeah,
I think we'll
Yeah.
agree that Zoro is still a stronger leader than Luffy. But in my mind, Luffy allows you the more flexibility in the cards you can play.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
Luffy's
it's
a
more
meta.
rounded. Yeah.
Luffy's a meta pick, and then Zoro's so highly represented, but I think that's because of a bunch of different reasons.
Yeah.
Zoro is
IP, like the character itself.
he's
Yeah,
the
people love
Charizard
Zoro.
of this game. Like I understand that you look at Luffy and you're like
Yeah.
Luffy's main
I
character.
do look at Luffy that way.
But Zoro, everyone's favorite character, second hand to Luffy.
Yeah.
He
I mean, look at the
is-
leader card. I
Yeah,
mean, you're not
yeah,
wrong. It's,
yeah,
what,
it's-
220 right now?
Yeah,
It is
exactly.
really expensive.
And then it's a very easy deck to play. Like
Simple deck.
if you're not hard into the game and then you're just like I have one deck because cards are hard to get.
Yeah.
So
100%.
If you were like dedicated into a red deck early in because you're like Zoro's my favorite character, I'm gonna build
Yeah.
Zoro, and then now cards are really hard to get. So now you're just
Yeah.
kind of stuck with this deck. And then also, as like a player that's like I can't afford to build every deck, so I have to choose what deck I'm gonna play. Those players are
Reds-
going to stick
yeah.
with Zoro because next set
They've already
Zoro,
invested.
It's
too.
future
Zoro
proof.
is the best deck in the format.
Well, let me
Yeah,
ask you
it's
this.
future-proof.
You see the Luffy players
Yeah.
playing the Shanks. You see the Luffy players playing the Ben Beckmans.
Yeah.
And these cards are a real problem for green. So how does Zoro go into green? Does it play more Beckmans for Treasure Cup? Does it play more Shanks for Treasure Cup? Or are you saying that Luffy is the meta play for Treasure Cup?
I think Luffy's the meta play for Treasure Cup over Zoro because you have the accessibility to play those tech cards and then play more. I think overall Zoro on paper is a better leader.
Because of the utility.
Yeah, Zoro has a longer longevity as a leader for this game.
Yeah.
And you're going to see Zoro a lot more. But I think for a set 1 format, you're just going to see Luffy around because you have those capabilities to play control. Round Table is such a
Underrated card.
100%, and then it means everything for that green matchup.
Correct.
Because you should expect to play green. Every round you should be expecting to play green.
It is the most represented
It's the most represented deck, and then I think it's the second best deck in the format, 100%. And if you sit there and you're not prepared for 8-drop Kid in your deck, then I don't know what you're doing.
I would say 8-cost Kid is what the meta is built around, right?
Correct.
I mean, it is the focal point of everything that's going on in One Piece TCG right now. I mean, especially here in Central Florida. I mean, the amount of green players have just skyrocketed.
It's skyrocketed.
Skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, Dofi's third best deck.
Yes.
Dofi would be the best deck in the format if green wasn't around.
If 8-cost Kid, not even green, just 8-cost Kid.
Yeah, 8-cost Kid.
It's that card that just ruins Dofi.
Well, you just can't deal with the blockers and all that stuff.
But then, on top of that, the sleeper pick, because Dofi is better than Croc, but I think Croc has a better green matchup.
I think so because you can lift.
Yeah.
The additional lift. So like I can play a Teach down, I can play a Jimby, get something rid of something, and then I can still use Croc's ability.
Yeah.
So I've just removed 2 characters off the board before I've even used Croc's leader ability.
They can never catch up.
I think that's huge.
Yeah.
I think that's huge.
And then there's also Blue-Purple Crocodile. That was not touched at all in Japan.
Nope.
And American players are the ones that made that a thing.
And then look at here in Central Florida, Red Green Luffy.
Red Green Luffy, yeah. That's what I played to get undefeated Swiss in the last tournament.
Yeah.
Sure did.
The half K.
I played against. I played every deck. I played a purple, multiple reds. I played red.
You played Luffy
which
itself too, also.
Is a really hard matchup for.
It's probably its hardest matchup for Red Green Luffy.
And then also purple. I played a Kaido player, and I think that's a skill check for every deck. Is that how good is your Kaido matchup?
Correct.
Yeah. If you can't go into Kaido and you don't have an answer to red drop, like that's or 8-drop Kid, that's like you need to understand what your deck does against those 2.
And honestly, Red Green Luffy might have the best answer in the game.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think
The searchable Round Table and Eco Robin.
Red Green Luffy is the best deck going against green 100%. I think that is the best deck to play against green. So you have to sit there and be like, am I going to give up my red matchup and have a bad purple matchup to be able to play against these green players and then just hope I go on a hot streak?
What would you guys say is the most slept on leader? Would you say it's Red Green Luffy?
Maybe.
Probably, yeah, because it's not played that often. It's like
not
I
played
don't
at all.
see any on my list. I don't see any Red Green Luffys. Like I see some loss every now and then. I see a bit of everything. I don't think we're gonna count King at all, but or Odin. Those 2 are for fun decks. But Red Green Luffy has like a natural shot at winning and doing stuff. So it's a dark horse. I would say people don't know what to do against it.
Yeah, that and Croc, just mono blue
Just because
Croc.
people don't see them. I mean,
No,
that's
no.
a huge factor in,
Yeah.
in card game tournaments, especially when you start getting to a 512 person
You don't prepare against
pool.
it.
I mean, people are expecting a meta.
Now, I will say, the last 2 really big events I played in, both of those events, my 1 losses were to Croc.
To Croc, really?
Yeah, both of those were mono blue Croc losses.
And what were you playing?
The first one I played Kaido, and then the second one I was playing Red Green Luffy.
Wow, okay. And was this the Croc that Japan used with the Smiley package and
No.
Caesar
No.
Clown?
No, it was
Just Warlord.
It was Senamaru.
Oh, it's
Well, they still ran that in Japan.
Yeah, they weren't playing.
But they didn't run the Kuma.
No, they were
The
playing.
Kuma that lets you play down a Pacifista, the blocker one.
They might have been playing that. I don't know if I saw it because
Okay.
it was best of 1. So if you don't see a card, I can't be like they're not
Correct,
playing a
correct.
card.
I just know in Japan that was the popular
Yeah,
package. for that.
they were
Smiley.
doing Senamaru packages, and then they were doing event heavy, because they were like, oh, I'm gonna play this event for 1, and I'm gonna scry, and I'm gonna draw a card, and then I'm gonna do this thing, and I'm just gonna play heavy.
So kind of Dofi with a Croc leader.
Kind of, yeah.
That's what you're saying.
But then they're
But it wasn't
also-
running the Japan cards.
No,
because like
they're-
that Caesar package was huge in Japan.
They were playing the Jinbei.
Oh yeah, they played Jimby.
Yeah, the 4-2 Jinbei.
Yeah, you got to run 4 of.
Yeah.
If that card had
pretty good.
counter, it would be ridiculous.
If it had 7 Warlord, I don't know why it doesn't have 7 Warlord.
I don't either.
I sit there every day going, why?
Terrible
I think
typing.
if it had 7 Warlord, the Dofi would 100% be the best deck in the format.
You have a better answer to green.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're moving the chump blockers away, pushing it to the side. You're able to swing over with Mihawk and things.
Yeah.
And you would think in practice that you just swing over so easily with Dofi. But for anyone who plays the game, it is so much harder than that.
Yeah.
I mean, the ease of dropping down 1 blocker for a cost of 1 Don while I'm having to play down a 9 Mihawk, it doesn't make it easy for me to swing over.
No.
And if my base isn't established before if you see 8 kid on curve, it's over. Because you beat me to it.
Yeah. And then there's no, except for red, there's no, so red and purple are the only 2 colors that have anything. Red is Round Table, and Round Table's still a tech card that not a lot of people play.
Yeah, something like
So
that.
surprising.
Yeah.
And then purple has 10-drop Kaido. So as the green player, when I'm sitting there playing against purple, you have to play differently because as the green player, you just want to go to 0 life, play establish 8-drop, and then you're like, this is my leader now.
But you can't do that against purple.
You can't do that against purple.
You kind of have to leader aggro and then drop the 7 on curve.
Or the other thing you do is that you leader aggro them and then you put them to 1 life. Because if you put a Kaido player,
They can't 10-drop you.
They can't 10-drop you at 1 life.
Yeah.
If you put a Kaido player to 1 life, then you can establish 8-drop kid.
Yeah.
But that's not easy.
That's
to
only
do.
time.
No, that's not.
I mean, and to get to that game state, I mean, the things that have had to happen to get to that point,
100%.
I mean, you're asking a lot. The reason why I'm so high on Round Table, though, is it's a 1-card combo.
Yeah, it's a 1-card combo.
You're swinging with Nami at that point into an 8 kid. I mean, I'm not looking for a Tommy and a Jet Pistol. Needing 2 cards is a stretch.
100%.
I mean,
And then that's why I like the red green Luffy, because something that people don't realize is that
Bonnie can get it.
Round Table is a supernova.
That's
So that's searchable
it
by
throws
Bonnie.
you off. People don't expect that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the greatest thing about Red Green Luffy is the card pool.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have the best card pool because you get the 8-cost kid, you get Rush characters, and you get Nico Robin.
Now,
Yeah.
we keep on talking about red green Luffy, red green Luffy, red green Luffy. Everyone's going to look at us and be like, why not play Law?
That's a good point. Here would be my argument to that. Law, you need 5 characters on board to establish, okay?
Yeah.
What's Green's best cards? You got Neko. Rest any of my characters in Law that are the easiest cards for me to
Okiku.
put down, you know? You got Okiku in Green. Rest any of my characters, I'm not at 5 on board. I am having such a hard time against Green to establish 5 on board.
Yeah.
I'm having such a hard time against Purple especially to establish 5 on board.
Yeah.
I'm starting with 4 life, and I'm not getting any possible use out of my leader if I don't have 5 on board.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
And the
commitment.
thing about Red Green Luffy is, and what's crazy and I think is slept on, is that like you get to threaten lethal with Red Green Luffy. You know, if I put 4 Don onto my Monkey D. Luffy that could swing through blockers, or a Basil Hawkins, I'm swinging for 10.
Yeah.
And then I get to restand and swing for 11.
You can swing
and I still have
Basil
2 Don up.
3 times a turn.
You can swing with Basil 3 times a turn. So you're
yeah.
threatening things where I feel like you get to play a different game style than you do with
Yeah,
Law.
when
Way
you're
way
playing
different.
Law, you have to think about your low end is so high in Law, so
Correct.
that you can sit there and then establish the 5. Luffy, you don't worry about it.
No.
I could have 1 card on board, and then Luffy leaders out.
And
That's all
Red
you
Green
need.
Luffy does play its good bit of low end cards.
Oh yeah, 100%. You're gonna play.
I mean, you might
the
play 16 to 20.
Namis,
I
the,
mean-
the Bonnies.
Bonnie.
If you wanted to, you could play it in a Wano engine and play Momosuke, I guess, if you wanted to.
Yeah, you could. It's not restandable. That would be my
Correct.
argument.
Yeah.
And then, but you still get all that searchability that Red Green has.
Yeah, you
but
get
you're
both.
not sit there stuck being like, I'm gonna do Law things.
Right. Now, I will say, though, and Evan already prefaced this, Kaido's the best deck in the format.
Kaido is the best deck in the format.
And Kaido just eats Red Green Luffy, I think we'll say.
Yes and no, because
If I don't see my round table, I have no response.
my only thing that gives Red Green Luffy an edge on Kaido is that Red Green Luffy plays a lot of 5 drops. And
It does. Five's that magic number.
5 is the magic number against Kaido.
It's 5 and 7. If you can hit a 5 or 7 number against Kaido, you can get a body.
And Luffy's skill works for 5s. If I'm able to
Does.
establish a Basil on board
Yeah, Basil on
against a
curve.
Kaido player, that's really good. Or if you're playing tech, you could play Yamato. Yamato is that tech card
But
for Kaido.
4 life against Kaido's really 3 life.
Yes. The only thing is, though, which I like, is because if Kaido player goes for Kaido skill, I don't have to worry about 10 drop with my 8 drop.
Correct, because they're already down on the dump.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and how many more turns? It's going to be 3 turns before they get back to 10. I mean, you gave me 3 turns of 8 drop utility.
Yeah.
I probably win that game. But sure, I feel like the thing with Kaido, though, is like, Kaido's so good. And when you're playing a deck like Red, Green, Luffy, or like even a Zoro or Green, you're almost asking that your opponent misplays.
You're asking for them to misplay and for them to have a bad hand.
Correct.
The only time...
And is that the way you want to approach something like a treasure cup?
No.
You know, that's,
But
I mean, in reality.
it's best of one. Sometimes you have to...
It is
they
best
don't
of one.
get the cards they
If
need.
I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, my green matchup's really good, and if I play against purple, I have win cons, but I just have to hope that they don't do as well.
Sometimes that's what it is,
that's
yeah.
what you need to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to have a high win rate against the most represented deck in the
Which we'll
format,
say is Green.
which is green. Green
Yeah.
is the most represented deck in the format. Then that is something to keep in mind.
100%.
Because yeah, my Kaido matchup might be bad, but if I play green 5 rounds in a row,
Well, let's have that conversation then, because
Yeah.
I think in the meta right now, going into something like Treasure Cup, where it's going to be so heavily represented, all those tournaments are going to get to 512 people.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. Everyone will start with 512. It won't be like DLB,
well, no,
where some people drop.
Vegas won't.
Vegas is 256, right?
250,
It's-
something like
yeah, it's like 256.
Yeah, it's a smaller
split.
player count.
Correct.
I guess in a convention.
So you're going to see so many decks. And what is going to be the meta at that point? It's going to be Luffy. Like, we're talking a lot about Red, Green, Luffy because we're fans. We like that. We like that deck.
That's our
okay?
pet project.
Yeah, it's a pet project. We think that it has a lot of outs to things, and it's very pilot oriented.
Yes.
You have to know how to pilot it.
Yeah.
But I think you're still going to see a lot of Luffy.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
Luffy is
Yeah.
100%.
That's your.
I'm
that's
seeing
your
that
problem.
trend on my list.
When you show up to that tournament, you have to sit
Yeah.
there and be like, "Am I going to be playing? Am I playing green or red? And what do I expect to be playing?" against?"
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's why I like Kaido, because end of the day, Kaido has a good matchup.
The best answer for both.
That's
You
the
have
best
7 drop King for red. You're getting rid of Nico Robbins,
Choppers.
anything that pretty much is like their chump blockers that they need to stay in that game.
And in a top table response, Kaido's worst matchup is a blue.
Yeah, like Dofi goes into Kaido pretty well, I think we'll
Yeah,
say.
it's also not an unwinnable matchup.
No.
But that's like 100% Kaido's worst matchup going in.
Yes.
And Dofi's worst matchup is green.
100%.
So if
the most
I-
represented deck in the format.
Exactly. So if I make it to a top cut and then there's just all the blue players lost because they kept on seeing their greens, like that's a good top 8 for me, you know?
Yeah. Now, I think a lot of people are going to argue, though, that like we're saying the whole format is built around green.
That's how it was in Japan too. At the beginning,
It
it was all green,
It was 100%
and then
that way. And then
started
Kaido
at 5.
started,
yeah.
because of Star Deck 5.
Yeah.
We don't get that for Treasure, though.
Yeah.
No.
So we have a whole
So-
tournament, premier tournament.
Should we be talking more about green? Or is it already like that focal point of the conversation? And that's why you're saying Kaido is once again a good play now.
Yeah, that's why I think so. Because if you play against red, or if you're playing red into green, like it's not unwinnable, which is why you're seeing all those red players like top recently.
Right.
Yeah.
You
especially
see your
a
stuff,
lot.
your Gum Gums, your Tamas. You
Yeah.
can do
your-
things
your
to
round tables.
They
Yeah,
just
but
suppress
turn
green
the
really
match.
hard. Yeah.
Shanks.
But sometimes, like, green player establishes Okiku on curve, and then you look at your hand and you're like, I have to jet pistol that. And then the green player is like, oh, you just used your jet pistol.
Yep. And then they drop Yamato that turn or something.
Yeah, they drop Yamato or they drop Basil. And then maybe the red player is like, I have the follow-up jet pistol, but that all tells me is that, fine, I'll just establish my 8-drop now.
And it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely the hardest part. But I mean, I think Treasure Cup will be fun. I think everyone will react to what happens in California. And I think that's the way to look at the meta.
Yeah.
I don't think you take what's happening now. You look at your locals, you're seeing a bunch of red, a bunch of green. Maybe you're seeing Kaido, maybe you're seeing blue. I mean, I know Orlando was really into Doflamingo for the longest
Yeah,
time.
that's the trend that just kept on going.
Time, that was
yeah.
the trend here.
Yeah.
And then green was so prevalent that it just fell off. But I think we're going to see whatever happens in California, you're going to have to readjust to whatever wins that tournament.
So you can expect to see at the
because
most.
people will copy what wins.
Yeah.
It just happens in
Yeah,
card
like
games.
the limited format was literally just blue and purple.
Yeah.
That's all they want, blue and
Yeah.
purple, blue and purple.
Because that's what it wants.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Yeah.
it just happens. So that will be Treasure Cup, though. What's after Treasure Cup?
The online regionals in
online
March.
regionals, that's
Yep,
right.
and after
That's
that, the offline ones, and then the store championships.
So we'll be getting offline and online regionals.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a month after or so, based on the timeline they put on the official website. Real quick, speaking of like case tournaments, I do have info that they're gonna have 3 case tournaments for set 2 with Cool Stuff, the same company that ran Maitland, in Tampa for March 11th, and Hollywood on April 1st, and I believe that's Jacksonville, April 22nd. So that's gonna be 3 case tournaments for OP02. But also, next month, snack that between all Treasure Cups and the Digimon Nationals, we're going to have a 2-day event at Gamers R Us in Cocoa. And it's a Saturday, I think it's the 25th. It's going to be a case tournament for 1 day. The next day, on the 26th, it's a 1K tournament.
1K.
So it's going to be huge, I think. I think it's a decently big store. And it might get similar numbers to Mainland, I think.
Yeah, I went to the previous 1K.
Oh, yeah.
I actually top 8 it.
Oh, yeah.
And
Great story.
from now on, the fun thing is going to be that you have to play it out. When it was our opportunity to go there and play so well, the top 8 was split. So from now on, it's going to be just play it out, grind it out, long day, and it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
You
Though.
get any money for
That's
it.
mental gymnastics. But
Yeah, it is.
another thing, to bring it back a little bit to deck choice, if you're someone that's like, because there's definitely players that go, I'm just going to play, I'm here for fun, like I just want to play this card game. But some players are there to make it to the end.
100%.
Yeah, this is a different tier of
So when you're
competitiveness.
choosing your deck, you also have to think, if I'm going to play 8, 9 rounds of this, and then also still have to play a best of 3 top cut, and like if you're playing Doflamingo, that's a lot.
Or Law.
Or
That's-
Law.
Or an
Stressful.
RG Luffy.
Or like if you're playing those complicated decks where every move matters, that's where
That's draining.
I remember.
Like, forget about side events.
Yeah.
You're resting.
We were
You have
in
a cot in the
the
corner or something.
the 1K where I came in first place.
Yeah.
I was in round 6, undefeated with fucking Kaido,
Yeah.
and then my opponent was playing like green or something like that, and they're sitting there, they're like thinking 30 years for their move, and I'm sitting there humming my songs. I'm like,
Yeah, you know
I'm
your
gonna-
next 5 plays already.
Exactly.
The slow play.
I'm going like you're not.
Yeah.
It's not like I have to overly think about my plays.
It's not like your next top deck is really going to change the game.
100%.
With those decks, you run so many, maybe so many tech cards, so many things where it's like your variables are always changing.
You're also having a bunch of lines of play because you can be like, okay, I
Correct.
could play this card and then play this card and then play this card, or I could play this card, attach the Dawn Swing here, do this, do this. Kaido, it's like I can play 1 card a turn. Which card am I going to play?
Right.
Kaido's very
Or like
streamlined.
with a Law, do I bounce here? Do I play down the Zoro first? Then
Exactly.
pick it up and bounce it just so I can play down my Nami again and get another search? Like, what do maximizing the value every turn? I think it's such a resource game right now.
Yeah.
That if you're not maximizing your value every turn, you're probably going to lose. And I
It's
think
only
that's where
gonna-
One Piece did
Yeah.
really well, by the way.
Yeah,
It's like
and-
the 4 colors to start.
Yeah.
Like, let's focus on 4. Let's
Yeah.
get them right. Let's get a good card pool here
Yeah.
and move on from there.
Like I say this a lot of times, like people expect like, oh, this should be accurate to the IP, and this game really is.
It
Whereas
is.
in
Yeah,
comparison, like you
100%.
have like Pokemon Unite, and people are like, oh, how come they don't have type advantages in Pokemon Unite? Well, it's a MOBA, so you can't do that. You need to have it to be like a MOBA with the skin of Pokemon. Here in One Piece, they do an above and beyond job at the making it accurate to the effect, to the point where it's not like game breaking or anything, and it's like still balanced, it's still simple. And it's like, so far, they're doing a great job by set 3.
Yeah,
Oh, for
especially
sure.
all of the yellow stuff
The
coming out.
yellow
my
Big
The
God.
Mom.
yellow stuff is
yes.
so thematic. It's
Yeah.
so great. Like the
Life or Death.
Life or Death.
Life or
Life
Death.
or Death is
Yes.
such.
Or even Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You
with
could give
Charlotte.
grab a
Oh,
Sanji.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
the
yeah, you
Susan
can grab the
Prometheus.
pudding.
Yeah.
Pudding.
Oh yeah, no. So they revealed a new pudding card, and it's like literally get a Big Mom card or get a Sanji, which
Yeah.
is a yellow promo that's coming in magazine.
Yeah, which is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, that was the Luffy.
That's the Luffy.
The
Luffy's
Luffy's
the
terrible.
Luffy's the vanilla for 4,000 attack. That's
Yeah.
not the greatest thing.
Art's cool.
Yeah, the art was
yeah.
insane. I was
Straight
like
to- straight to the binder.
Luffy art. I was like, what's this card gonna?
Straight to the binder.
It's bad.
It's a binder card. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
It
binder
looks
card.
nice.
I'm just disappointed
yeah.
we won't get the Chinese Luffy.
Hopefully, one day.
Maybe without the envelope, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a cultural thing. I don't think that we're gonna get the envelope, but I think we're gonna do a pretty good job with getting every single card at one point or another. The only thing that I'm concerned about is we might not get the exact Shonen Jump blue Luffy card.
I
Like
like
the
that
logo
card.
might change to English or things
Was
might
it
be
the
tweaked.
anniversary card?
It was. It had the 25th anniversary on the bottom right, but it has like the Japanese logo of Shonen Jump, and I think they might release it, but I altered. It might have the actual English Shonen Jump logo instead. Well, who knows? I think they've done a great job with like printing out cards for us. Like we got the Uta, the film starter deck from Japan, really, really early because they got it in August, and then we got it, December itself?
Yeah.
Very December. So that was like really, really fast.
And that's a great point you bring up too, because like you look at something like Treasure Cup, Japan for their big events, their first big events, they weren't called Treasure Cups, the preliminaries.
Yeah.
They had the film deck.
Yeah, 100%.
We don't have
Yeah.
the film deck. Like you saw so much Kaido top because of that.
It won the
card.
first one, I believe.
That Uda card is so
The
good.
Uda card's insane.
I mean, it like makes it so advantageous for Kaido to go second.
Yeah.
Just because you play that on curve, even if you don't have island, it's so good. It's such a strong play. And you'd even see your best card in your deck, which is island.
Yeah.
And speaking of, didn't someone ask some questions?
Yeah,
Some good
so
questions.
I did take some questions from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I did get a few.
Yeah,
you
so
ready
this
for
is
them?
the spice,
Yeah,
by
yeah.
the way.
Yeah. Well, let's go in order that we got them in that case.
Okay.
All right. So we have Russ from Instagram. He asked me a question about general game knowledge, and he asked, "Why is Luffy seeing more tops than Zoro in the Western meta?" So
Evan, you want to start this out? We kind of already talked about it.
Like I said,
rundown.
I think it heavily has to do with just the green matchup going into it,
Mm-hmm.
and then how especially for Japan, Japanese players love Zoro, like just the character of Zoro.
Yeah.
Japan's the best of one format too, by the way.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the way the game was
Yes.
intended.
Like
in
when it
Japan.
was intended for us, like the first DLB event was going to be best of 3.
It was impossible.
And then it got canceled due to time, and it has
was.
never gone back.
Yeah.
But originally, it was intended for it to be best of 3 tournaments.
Yeah.
Also, I think I don't know about you guys, but just having that output as someone that has played a lot of card games, Japanese players like high, fast, aggressive gameplay.
High roll
Yes.
decks, we call them.
Yeah, they like very aggressive gameplay decks, and Zoro's highly aggressive.
It's a rush. Yeah.
And American players are tempo players. They are mid-rangey players that like to.
Want to mudsling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hence the kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, why everyone
So
wants to
rush.
hide behind it right now?
Yeah.
And just play conservative.
Yeah. And
Paid
then
off
eventually all the Japanese players were just like,
Kaido!
All right. So
What else you got for us?
Yeah. So I have one from Alex Ortiz from Instagram. So for game knowledge / Treasure Cup, what are some good anti-meta type cards to run in green? I'll be running green at the Treasure Cup, and I predict that there will be a big green showing. What spicy type cards like Demon Face will be teched in? Well, I think Demon Face already is a tech card to play because
100%.
like mirror
you
match
maybe run
mostly.
1 or 2 tops.
Yeah.
Evan was actually really high on this card.
Yeah.
so I was playing it out for a second because
It's not bad. It's just
yeah,
situational.
because when you're playing green, I guess that was more of like a
Your red matchup. You liked it for your red matchup.
yes, because our locals just started playing a bunch of red.
Tons of red.
Yeah.
So it was
So-
Zoro, Luffy to start.
It
If
was all red.
I can go play Demon Face, I can pop 2 Luffys.
Or even look at a law.
Yeah,
mean,
I can pop.
that clears the board.
Yeah, I was also. I play around with a lot of different stuff. I was playing a tap control green deck, where I was playing Straw Swords. I was.
Even the Yamato promo, you were
Yeah.
running in that. Remember to rest a 3 drop?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Like I was playing against a green player, or no, I was playing against I was playing against red green Luffy, and then I went swing into leader for 5 with my leader, and then I baited law block because that's it.
Nice.
He had 2.
Just so you could play the demon face.
Yeah, he had 2 laws on board, so he was like, "Yeah, I'll block that for 6." And then I went straw sword, demon face, pop both.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. I think Demon Face is a fine card as a tech. I would not run more than 1. I'm a big 1-of guy. Come from Pokemon.
Yeah.
So I'll preface it with that.
Yeah.
But it is searchable with Bonnie.
It is a.
That's why I
supernova.
think you're safe with 1.
The other
Yeah.
thing is that
Straw Sword also.
That's my chance
Let's
to
get
get
that
it.
out there.
Yeah.
Straw
Some
Sword-
people are still not running Straw Sword.
I think
No,
straw
you
sword
should-
is the tech.
and it's
Yeah.
a win now
It's really
card.
good. Yeah.
I mean, you rest a queen and go for game.
There's not a.
Yes,
If you're
that's
playing
what
the
I'm saying.
mirror match,
Yeah.
you can rush 7 drop kick.
You can rest 7
Yeah.
drop. I mean, it's so good. And another thing that I think some people are messing up with green as far as tech cards go is your ratios of 7. In the mirror match, the 7 reigns supreme.
Yeah.
Not only that, but it gives you your best chance at Kaido.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, really tough.
That's my thoughts.
Yeah, 100%.
So let me skip that one for the end because it's like very opinion based. We got Olin Evans asking me on Facebook question about Treasure Cup. How many people that are stuck on the wait list do you think will get in? Do you think it's worth going just for the side events and training? I think based on that one, I think only one is doing side events, if not also Vegas. I think Miami's the one that's 100% confirmed doing it. One of the pricings is a chopper, so that's a really good pricing, and they got 3v3, I think, and all these other things. But definitely it's based on how far you live, how much money you're willing to spend on staying, on driving, flying, whatever, because you gotta, pay to sign up. I don't know if there's a cap or not. You might make the wait list, but remember, this event filled out within either a minute in like Vegas or an hour or so. So it's very high demand, and if you weren't on that wait list, the moment that wait list drop, I don't think it's very likely because I don't think it's refundable. So people would just eat it and not show up anyways, rather than just ask for cancellation. So that's a big thing about that. So
I will say though, because he mentioned, should I just go for the side events?
Yeah.
If you have never been to a big card game tournament before, like a nationals, a regionals, I think that's such an experience. Like even if you can just play all the side events. As long as you can sign up for them, like a PPG, and sign up ahead of time. Signups are ahead of time. You can go do them right now even.
PPG
and if there are
management.
slots and you know you can get them, I think that atmosphere is so good though.
What I would say is that if you have a group of friends already going to those events, like if
just
your card game group of playtesters or like a group of 6, and then 4 or 5 of your friends got in it and you're the one man out, I think it would be worth to go with them. Every tournament ever, you're always going to have, like, for whatever reason, some player that can't play, and you might be able to, like, day of make it in.
Sneak in somehow.
If not...
you're still going to have a blast.
Yeah, the location, like, you have the side events. Also, like, just location-wise, Miami. You're in Miami for the weekend. Like, that's...
You're gonna have
just have a good bros trip.
Yeah.
Or if you're in Vegas, like...
Lots of things to do.
Just have fun, you know? Like,
it's a vacation.
Especially if you're a new card player, I feel like just seeing it all is like a big thing.
100%.
Like seeing the intensity and all that stuff, like, because it's different.
Yeah.
Those day ofs are so different.
One of the first big events for One Piece too. It's the first. It's the
100%.
biggest. It's the first biggest event for the card game.
Yep.
So that's a nice thing to go to. Like, I was there for the first premier event for One Piece. So that's nice. It's a big plus.
But if you're waitlisted and you don't have anybody that's going that you know of, and then you would have to spend all this money for travel.
That might not be worth it unless you're rich.
Save your money.
Save your money. But if there's like a group of people and you can tag along for like the hotel trip and the travel and then stuff like that, and then play side events like that, I could still see that being a good time. Like Alan's doing that with us.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Okay, so this gentleman, Dan Rogen has a few questions.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna go from top to bottom.
You want to just do one at a time?
Yeah, we're gonna go one at a time, chop them down. So any advice for local metas trying to build a scene? We've grown from just 2 of us to a weekly 12 to 13, but it's been a lot of work. I think people will love tips instead of just making it up as they go along like me. So it depends on the populace of players in your area. For sure, it's about reaching out online in your local communities and see people are interested. Maybe ask the local card players if they want to try the game, because when I went for the demo events for One Piece, saw a lot of Digimon, DBS, and Magic players. So they got interested and they're playing it. Like right now in Florida, we have all these Yu-Gi-Oh people that are playing it right now. So that's definitely worth a shot asking your locals, hey, do you want to try this game? Loan them your deck, let them try it out, see if they like it. But
I mean, you two have been playing card games for so long.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys can really answer that.
It takes a lot of effort and networking to get people around and,
What I would recommend is that if you're someone that has a lot of decks, lend them out to your friends.
Like I did.
Yeah,
All my decks.
like you did.
I spent so much money in this
like,
game.
obviously it's your own stuff, and if you don't want to hand out your stuff to people that you don't trust and stuff like that, that's 100% understandable. But if you're someone that has a bunch of resources of cards to be able to loan out to people, if you can get them in the door and then like every week they're playing, and eventually they grow into being like, okay,
be the person that makes the impact.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you want to just get your friends to play with you. Like, even if they don't play card games.
Even starter deck format is really simple to play. So.
And another thing
Give
is,
them Kaido.
Exactly.
what I do personally, I have a master playset of every card in the
Same,
game.
yeah.
So whenever
I think we all do.
yeah.
4-ofs.
When I win tournaments, and this will be different for different
Yeah.
local scenes, but our tournaments so luckily give out packs for prize support.
I think it's just about to end, by the way.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the well
I think
is
I might have gotten
drying.
the last one.
Really?
Yeah.
The well-
So
it's rough.
when I open up packs, like I'll hold on to the SRs and stuff like that, but I go, is anyone in this room not able to get product? Like who
needs the bulk?
Who needs bulk?
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
everyone
And a
who
lot of
needs bulk.
cards. You
Yep.
know,
I don't need
Neko.
30 Robins sitting in my house. I would rather have that distributed between 6 different players so that
Yeah.
there could be.
It saves some money too.
Now that's
Yeah.
a point of privilege and luck for us to
100%.
first off
Yeah.
be able to find product,
Yeah.
be able to even buy the product. There's tons of people that just want to buy the product and can't.
Yeah.
So it's more of like you need to be the impact if you want to grow that community.
Yeah, you have to put in your work. Like I did. Like thankfully, it didn't come to the point where I wanted it to because the game just grew on its own and it's huge in Central Florida. But I was fully prepared to just buy starter deck after starter deck after starter deck to just get people to play the game and try it out because I love the IP. I love the game. Like I hadn't played card games since like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's like I saw One Piece and it's like, yeah, I am playing
I'm back.
this.
Yeah.
I'm 100%. This is. I love the idea. Let's get it done. But for next question is, who is your favorite One Piece character not yet made into a leader and not spoiled in OPO 2 or 3?
Do it. Do the pose.
So he's a fanatic over here.
You can't see it for those just listening to the
Yeah,
podcast.
so-
but
Oh, yeah,
Do you want to
yeah.
give the sound?
Super! Oh my god, I love Frankie. I was so upset in the
Yeah.
set 2 reveals.
Parma War.
Where we
Yeah.
get Sanji?
Yeah.
Or no, set 3. Sorry, I'm thinking set 3.
Because it's Ennis lobby type.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Ennis Lobby. We could have
Yeah.
had a Frankie leader. Frankie leader with Frankie family would have been so
Mm-hmm.
good.
Instead, we got Iceberg.
Yeah, we got Iceberg. That should have been Frankie.
No. I'm not mad about that because Iceberg, it gives a new option to purple because green has Kinemon, green has Kid, some Odin. Red has Luffy and Zoro. Blue has Crocodile and Doflamingo and
Right.
Ivankov.
I got
but
mine.
purple is just Kaido.
Yeah.
You don't play Shanks. You don't play King. Iceberg has been really, really good so far with the spoilers.
So yes, that's been really good. But
Yeah.
I will sit here and say that ace leader should have been Frankie. Like,
Mm.
we don't need back-to-back Whitebeard support. Whitebeard
I
just...
don't mind it. I
So
don't
yeah,
mind
One line of
it.
Wano, so.
So-
Because Whitebeard's such an interesting leader.
But we're losing Whitebeard because Ace is such a better leader.
That's the event.
I
part
think
one,
so
right?
now.
Yeah.
I think so now. I
Yeah,
think
like,
there
there's
could be a
always the-
day where Whitebeard
There's
is
always
like
the future.
so good.
But
but for me, I got to talk about my character real quick, man.
Yeah,
I'm so
yeah, yeah,
excited.
yeah.
Rayleigh Silvers.
Rayleigh Silvers,
Gotta
really,
be. Gotta be.
the Dark King himself.
The Dark
Yeah.
King himself. Give me a red.
That's going to be a
Silvers.
Rogers Pirates set probably.
There probably will be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And he needs to be a leader.
Yeah.
though.
yeah. There'll
I
be
think
a
at one
Roger
point,
Pirate, and then there'll
every
be a
character
Roger
will be a
and then
leader.
Rayleigh.
Like even like his tutelage to Luffy and everything, you know, like
Yeah.
he needs to be.
If the game wants
Prominent.
longevity, I think it's going to come to a point where every character can eventually become a leader.
Yeah.
So myself, I want to have Eneru because I love the character. I got into One Piece because of
Oh.
Eneru. I love the idea of like the
That's a
Golden
good one.
City,
That's a good one.
Island in the sky. I love mythology and all these other things. So I definitely Eneru. It's bound to happen. So I'm not too stressed about it. So another one is to finish it off here. One thing I see people struggle with the thematics of OPTCG compared to other TCGs, like My Hero or Pokemon. Give us your best pitch for leaders or cards that really ooze theme to sway the naysayers.
I don't think there's an argument there even.
No,
Like-
I think so far they've been doing pretty good with
They
leaders.
use themes so
yeah, they're all
well.
very
Like-
thematic based.
Yeah,
and,
like
and they
look at
match.
Katakuri.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's future sighting your life.
Yeah, so I think they're doing a pretty good job with that.
Or like even how like Zoro makes everyone better around him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you look at the Straw
Yeah.
Hats, like Zoro is the backbone, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like he makes like look at his relationship with Chopper. Look at his relationship with everyone
Yeah.
besides Sanji. You know, and even they have their moments. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then another thing, Sanji, bad in Zoro.
He is bad in Zoro. That's funny.
It's only good in Luffy.
Yeah. That's funny.
All right, so let's run on to the next one. Any advice for new YouTube creators on areas of the game that need more coverage? I'm working on a channel that focuses on kitchen table and casual local play to feature people around the world, but I'm not sure how to get started. Someone answered that one mostly. For that one, I get a lot of questions asked, and I see in panels for like conventions. How do you start? How do you start? And the thing is, just do it. Just film something and put it on the internet. and look back and say, what can I do better? What can I do better the next time? Because if you become a worrywart and think, like, oh, should I do it this way? Should I do it that way? No, just record something, put it on the internet, and then look back and see what you can do better the next time, and keep getting better time and time again. Because if you don't feel you're ready to go and post something, you're never gonna start. So go with your gut and post something, and just keep trying and trying and trying, and do it for fun. Don't do it for money. Don't do it for views. Do it because you like doing what you do. Like, I love doing this, and that's why I'm here with friends surrounded now, and I love this game, and I never expected to be covering the game in this degree, but I do it because I love the game. I love One Piece. So
This game is how we all met.
Yeah, exactly. We have I've met so many people around the world. People from Peru, Colombia, Mexico, Italy, France, Germany. They all come to me and ask me questions, or they tell me, oh, hey, I won this local, I won this tournament, I have this deck list, and it's like, you just gotta keep posting, talk to people, don't be shy, make friends, because ultimately, trying is what's gonna get you there, and you gotta do it for fun, absolutely for fun, because if you don't have fun, you're not gonna, it's gonna be a chore, you're not gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, you also don't need to drop $1,000 on like equipment and stuff like that. A $20 GoPro with a mounting stand
Webcam.
Start with your iPhone.
Logitech webcam.
or even your iPhone.
Your phone has autofocus. You can do any pack opening on your phone. Easy peasy.
Yeah. If you have an iPhone, your iPhone camera is going to be better than anything that you're willing to spend money on.
Okay, so I have two last gameplay questions for y'all.
Okay.
Before we wrap it up here. Gameplay question for you. When you decide to switch from taking easy life to gain card advantage to countering to preserve your life total?
That's a really hard question to ask.
It's a gameplay.
It's a gameplay.
Situational.
In a board state.
Every situation is going to be different. You have to evaluate board state and what you're playing against.
I will say the best situation I think to be in set one is card advantage because of the so little draw.
Yeah, you have to sit there and then be like, okay, how many cards do I have in my hand? How many cards does my opponent have in my hand? If I guard this, am I going to have an equal amount of cards in life as him, or am I going to go under by like 2 or 3?
Also the matchup too.
What's the matchup? If I go to 1 life here, but I'm playing against Kaido, is Kaido going to be able to Kaido skill me and swing for game next turn? Or if I go to 1 life right now, is Kid going to be able to double swing me for game right now?
Or if I'm playing 8-drop Kid, does it even matter?
Yeah.
Do I take the cards
Do
for
I?
card advantage?
Yeah. Do I go to a 10-card hand, establish 8-drop Kid, and then I just win the game because they can't get past my wall?
Correct.
I think it's situational. It depends on what's going on, and like it's never gonna be a one-for-one scenario.
Yeah.
You have to see something you get with experience. Like many things in the game, you have to scope it out yourself with experience and determine if it's the better choice or not. Was that the camera?
The GoPro.
Okay. Do you think not limiting 2K counters is healthy for the game in the long term? It seems like by OPO4 or 5, people will be running decks with 50 2K counters.
I don't think that'll be a problem until like maybe set 10 if the 2K counters are good enough.
No, like because they make they're really good at balancing. I don't know if everyone here notices that they have like a curve set point for everything. So vanillas are 2 power above curve. So if it's a 1-drop, it's going to have 3 power. If it's a 2-drop, it's going to have 4 power. Like vanillas are higher curve. Cards with that are like a 5-6 on curve. If it has like a mediocre to bad skill, it's going to have counter. But if it has a really good skill, it's not going to have counter.
Right.
Or maybe you have a card that is like a niche ability that's on the lower end, so they can give it 2K to like no one would ever play this card, but because now that it has 2K counter, it's worth playing. But they're not going to start dropping 10-drop Kaidos with 2K counter on it. Like that's
and look at that as an example too. I mean, that goes back to like the thematic thing. Like right now, for those who are caught up in One Piece, like Kaido's a pretty strong character.
Yeah.
There's a reason he has vanilla stats along with his ability. You can argue if that was a smart move or not.
Yeah.
But there's a reason behind that even.
Yeah. It just comes down to a balancing issue, and then whether or not you expect Bandai to do anything about that. I will say that in another Bandai game, the Dragon Ball Super TCG, there is something called super combos, which I'm sure that because you guys have been playing a lot of Dragon Ball players in this game, that they refer to 2Ks as super combos. I don't know if you've heard that.
I heard that.
Super combos where it was kind of the equivalent of a 2K, but you would play it and then I haven't played it for a while. I think you drew a card when you also did it.
Oh, wow.
But when the game first came out, every color got one of it. But then every set, they kept on making more super combos. And then they made it so that you could only play 4 in a deck.
Okay, so they find a way to cap it, whether it's a ban.
They also
list
capped
or
the
limiting list.
secret rare too, right?
I stopped playing after set 3.
Oh, so we wouldn't know then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how about for closing comments, because we have Long Beach coming up next week, so we have it on on video. I want to ask you guys, what do you think will be winning the event? It's gonna be a best of 1 Swiss, 7, 8, 9 rounds, and then day 2 is gonna be a top cut, or the same top cut, top 16 probably, based on the attendance. What do you think is gonna be the deck that's gonna win it all, Garrett?
I'm going to say Green Kid.
Green Kid.
It's still the most prevalent deck.
Yeah.
It's going to have the most representation. And I think Green just has the best card pool. So I think you can handle a lot of things that are thrown your way.
Okay.
And in best of 1, you have like one bad matchup maybe as Green, and that's Kaido.
Yes, Kaido is. That's
everything
the
else is
problem.
probably like 50-50 at worst.
And if you don't see it, yeah.
And if you don't see your Kaidos,
Then
it's like,
you're doing great.
You're fine.
Unlike me, I see Kaido every single day, every single time. I never not play against Kaido. But what about you, Evan? What deck do you think is going to win Long Beach?
I think red or green is going to win Swiss. And I think if they play out top cut, it'll be a Kaido player if they can make it into it.
Yeah, no, I can see that. So, like we said, I think green is probably the optimal play for that tournament. It's going to be
Optimal play.
Optimal play. It's going to be the most popular choice, the most represented, and it's well-rounded enough to get through Swiss, and if it's lucky enough, it might not even see purple, so it can win the whole thing.
Yeah.
So for
We all agree no Dofi though. No Dofi winners.
personally,
I
For all
could
the
s-
Dofi fans
There
out
might
there.
be a Dofi in top cut
Yeah.
if they either get lucky in their green matchups or if they're able to dodge the green players.
Yeah.
Right, but we won't see it as the winner.
But
No,
personally,
it's not gonna
the way
win.
I see it for the Flamingo is that it is the only format where you're gonna have that be viable, in my honest opinion, because next set we're gonna have Ivankov, and that's gonna be the blue deck to play.
Oh, yeah.
So if you love the Flamingo and the archetype, hey, play what you love. The Flamingo is not a bad deck.
And like you said earlier, it goes
best
back to
bet.
your goal.
Yeah.
Like if I just want a top 64,
Yeah,
Dofi's a great bet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and that's,
consistent. It's
so
super
consistent.
consistent.
I believe that's the Usopp or some pack pricing. So that's
Right.
not bad. Yeah.
So I mean, what's your goals? Are you
Yeah.
really trying to win the whole thing? Or are you just trying to make it a day 2? Are you
Exactly.
just trying to get as many prize cards
Yeah.
as possible, guaranteed?
Or maybe you're trying to make a point. Maybe you're
Yeah.
showing up with
Sure.
your own spice, and you just want to get as
Yeah.
high as you can with it.
Packs and oh, it's a chopper actually. Top 64 is chopper.
That's still good. That's
Yeah,
good.
that's
gonna be a
Chopper is
$100
really
card.
popular.
That's a $100 card.
More than that probably. Yeah. So are we ready? We're all good?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, so we're going to wrap it up, guys. I would do want to say, if you have any questions for us regarding just about anything, please reach out to me on Twitter, Orange Samurai D, Instagram, Facebook. I'm always open, and I'll be sure to bring up the questions to the guys at the next podcast.
And you want to try to do this how often? Let them know.
Maybe like once a week we'll get it done, and we'll get it posted throughout the week.
Yeah, we'll see how it
And,
goes. If we
yeah.
need to move it to like an every other week kind of schedule.
Yeah, it depends. We have a
yeah.
lot going on in the this month. Is really One
Yeah,
Piece
with
intensive.
all of the treasure
all the
cups
treasure
going on.
cups, big events, case tournament. So
Personal
maybe
life,
February.
Garrett's becoming an old man.
February might be a jam-packed month for One Piece, so you might see weekly videos no matter what. But after that, it might chill down a little bit. So thank you guys for watching the Worst Generation podcast. This has been Garrett, Evan, and Orange Samurai here, and I'll see you guys on the next video.
Take it easy.
Thank you for watching.
So, thanks for watching.